on, everybody? This is Toy Addict 26 here, back again with another advanced look at Thundercats Ultimates Wave 2. And today we're finishing off the wave with a first look at the brand new Pumyra action figure from Super 7. The package, just like every other figure, it comes in this trapezoidal, really nice, elegant black box mostly, with the Thundercats emblem in metallic. That looks really awesome and very, just very elegant and very fancy looking. It has the slip cover here, Thundercats classic logo from the 80s in the back. When we slip the slip cover off, it reveals the figure on the inside. Here we have Pumyra, all decked out, Super 7 style. And you can see she comes with all her accessories, weapons, alternate head. And then the back features brand new character bio art that has not yet been seen, because these character bio arts are being used on the reaction figure wave as well, but there is no Pumyra figure in the reaction wave so far. So this is your first look at Pumyra character bio art, and it looks really awesome. I love the style and the design of the illustration for the person that Super 7 is hired to do these jobs. Here we have a quick character bio. If you want to zoom in on that, give it a read. And now let's go ahead and remove the figure from the package and take a look at this long-awaited Pumyra action figure re-release. Here we have the all-new Ultimates Pumyra, and there's a lot of stuff to cover, particularly the fact that she has been changed in terms of size. She is definitely smaller in comparison to the original release from Mattel, and rightly so. She's a female, and she was never taller than the main heroes in the cartoon. So thankfully we got that correction taken care of in this release. She has the alternate head, which is more like an angry expression, battle ready, I would say. She has 2 additional pairs of hands, 2 for holding. In the box, she comes with these really cool gesturing hands. First, let's take a look at the alternate head. The paint apps are really clean, no noticeable marks or bleed of paint, except for a tiny little dot here of the darker brown on the top of the brow area. But you really have to get up close to see it, so it's not significant. Paint apps on her are fairly clean, very well. There is some minor discrepancies here and there, like in the middle of the cheek of the cat emblem, it looks like the paint was scratched off or something like that. The paint here looks a little weird. Looks like it didn't dry right, and got some stuff stuck on it right here in this part. Everything else is pretty much clean. Little dots here and there. Got this weird stain in the back of the calf here. It's almost like the paint didn't dry enough when they packed her in. Well, she's got the gesturing hands, which I liked for this figure. It's a unique, cool looking set of hands. These are the ones that come in package. And then she brings the 2 closed fists. Make sure I don't drop these here. So 2 little closed fists. And then she also has the 2 holding hands with the thumb slightly up. In terms of holding the accessories, they stay in place fairly well. So here she's holding the slingshot with the bombs. The bombs are painted nice, multicolored. To hold the glaive, same thing, it slides in the hand and stays there. It's not loose, which is a good thing. And then last but not least, the Totomadara. Totomadara is very gummy. It almost feels like like the consistency of a Gusher candy. Very gummy. You almost want to like bite into it, see what kind of flavor is inside. It also holds very well in the grabbing hand. And now I want to go ahead and address one of the main concerns, which was the size of the figure. In package, and initially people thought the size had not been corrected, but it has. So here we have Super 7 Pumyra, and here we have the Third Earth, Club Third Earth Pumyra from Mattel. Significant change in height. You can see Pumyra's shoulder pretty much meets up to the collarbone on the Mattel version. The head on the Mattel Pumyra is also a lot bigger. So everything in general seems to have been shrunken down. So now she's no longer taller than the other Thundercats. And she's a female, so she needs to be more petite, unless she's some kind of barbarian woman, you know, which she is not in the cartoon in any way. So it's great to see that they did, you know, the size correction on this figure. Looking at them side by side, you can see a lot of significant differences in color tones. For example, and right here is where you could see like the most significant difference in height. You'll see how the belt is kind of hanging off the waist here on the Mattel Pumyra, and on here the belt pretty much touches the pouch. So that shows how much shorter the skirt area, pelvis area is in comparison on the new release. So there definitely has been a lot of corrections in terms of size, scale. Paint apps are very similar. It looks like the Mattel paints tend to come off a little shinier. The belt piece here on Pumyra in Ultimates is a little more dull and matte, where the Mattel version was more like a shiny and a slightly darker kind of burnt sienna. Also a different tone here is more gold on the shoulder bracer versus on the Super 7 one, it's more of a copper color. The burgundy on the shoulders is also different. I like the fact that the Thundercats emblem pops a little more on the Mattel version than the Super 7. Everything seems to be a darker tone on the Super 7 release. The paint apps are significantly different. If we look at them side by side, we can see the Mattel one is definitely a lot more vibrant. She has more of a serious look. And then when we look at the Super 7 one, it's almost like she has this startled look, like her brows are a little bit more elevated, and there's more attention to the outlining on the top part of the eyes, versus with the Mattel one, there's a lot more outlining all around the eye altogether. The eyes, the iris itself seems to be a little larger, and then we don't have this significant darker brown hue under the eyebrows on the Mattel version. They're basically invisible. You could barely see it. It's there, but it's not as significantly noticeable as it is here. The lips are very subtle, more of like a light pink, whereas the Super 7 is almost like a darker, like if she's wearing lipstick. But generally, it's the same head sculpt. I mean, I honestly can say I think I prefer the head sculpt on the Mattel version versus the Super 7, just because it has this weird startled look to it. But, and here we'll put them back to back so you can see the difference in height. There's definitely a difference. It's not significant, but it's there. So let's put the Pumyra from Mattel out of the way and just focus on this Super 7 one. So another major change for the better that's been done here is that we have pinless joints now. So whereas the last time with the Mattel version we had a single hinge joint at the elbow, now we have the hinge joint, but it's pegless. We don't have the swivel like we have on the male figures, and that's probably because of the fact that it's a female and the bodies are a little smaller. I take that back. It looks like there's a little give here. You can see that there, right? So there is a swivel joint that you could kind of manipulate slightly, but it doesn't work as well as with the male characters. All right, so articulation breakdown. Peg head, pretty much you can rotate left and right, slight angular movements. She can look down this much, look up that much. Definitely another figure that would benefit from a hinged neck peg, because it would give her a lot more range of movement on the head. So we got the swivel and the hinge on the elbows. We got a swivel and a hinge joint at the shoulders. And then, of course, on the wrist, we have the hinge and the swivel. At the torso, this is new, guys. There is a swivel cut at the upper torso, right underneath the breasts. That is new. The Mattel version, this piece was all solid from the shoulders all the way to the waist. So that's awesome because we have an extra point of articulation. So we got the waist swivel, and then we've got an upper rib cage swivel. It's nothing else but a swivel. It doesn't have any angular movement, doesn't seem to be on a peg. It's just a swivel. Nonetheless, it's welcome. Any new articulation, extra articulation is always welcome. When we spread the legs out, this time around, another correction that's been made on Pumyra versus the Mattel version is they cut the slit here on the skirt on this side, so it allows you to open the legs fully. The Mattel version, it was very rigid on this side, and you could only bring up the leg this much, and you were able to bring it up more on the other side. So that's awesome that they got to, correct these cuts on the sides. And then now, last but not least, with the legs, we've got the same kind of hidden swivel hinge joint at the inner crotch. You can swivel the thighs inwards and outwards. At the knees, we have a hinge joint with that swivel peg. So we've got new articulation, extra articulation. Everything is pinless this time around. The joints are nice and tight. And then last but not least, on the ankles, we've got the hinge, and we've got that rocker, that swivel joint that allows you to rock back and forth. So all in all, there is a lot of improvements on this Pumyra, which is great because, a lot of people waited so long, 2+ years, to get this wave in hand. And it's great to see that, Super 7 went ahead and delivered on all angles, and even more than what we expected in terms of fixing her scale and also giving us extra goodies like the alternate head and extra hands. So just for comparison's sakes, I wanted to show you guys a couple figures. That way you can see how big she is in comparison to other characters. All right, so here we have Pumyra next to Linkso, which is a much shorter and stubby Thundercat figure. And we have the all-new Tigra, which joins Pumyra in Wave 2. So as you can see, right away, you can see that her size has been corrected. And the easiest way to notice that is I'm going to remove this Super 7 Pumyra and replace her with the Mattel version. And you can see how the Mattel version is much taller than everybody else. So again, that's awesome. For those of you who were missing Pumyra, didn't get her on the first go through Mattel, or you already have her but you were waiting for the corrections on the Super 7 version, then you will finally be able to have a properly scaled Pumyra added to your collection. Thanks to Super 7 and, the TLC that they gave this particular figure in this wave. Thankfully, with Wave 2, it's been a very long time with all the delays and problems. And I know that not everybody, there's a big division in the satisfaction department in terms of Tigra. I think Tigra looks fantastic. You can check out my review whenever you get a chance. It's up now on my YouTube channel as well. And, with Pumyra, well, what can I say? It's an amazing, fantastic piece. And, with Pumyra here rounding off everything, it's really, overall, Wave 2 has come out to be a very positive thing. Groon the Destroyer is an awesome figure as well. He has a proper scale, little problems here and there, but nothing major, nothing significant. With Tigra, of course, we're missing the elbow pad, which is pretty significant. And there was a very significant change in color at the end of the day, but he's still cartoon accurate. So that's pretty much it for my review of Pumyra, and pretty much it for all my reviews of Thundercats Ultimates Wave 2. I hope you've enjoyed this series. I hope you're excited to get these figures. They should be in hand very soon, hopefully by the end of this month, which is pretty much this weekend. And that's pretty much it. Enjoy your spring break. Thanks for tuning in. Keep it locked on Toy Addict 26 for the latest toy news and reviews and first looks at brand new Thundercats Ultimates. And don't forget to pre-order your Mandora with Electrode Charger, available now for pre-order at super7.com or participating retailers.